Hello. Oh, wait. Hello and happy Earth Day. In the age of COVID-19, we can't be too careful. My name is Laura Wilkinson Sinton. I live here in Coronado and I am a master composter. And on behalf of the Coronado Library and my pals at Emerald Green Ocean Blue, I wanted to teach you a little bit about composting for Earth Day. It's the 50th anniversary, as you know, and what you may not know is that 40% of your trash is food waste. We're cooking more now, and we have more food waste in our houses because we're buying too much lettuce and it's going bad. And you only need a few ingredients to get started. A rubber tub with drill holes and water, and your browns and greens. These are the things that you put in for your compost. Greens are vegetables and peels, maybe the lettuce that goes wilted and bad. Your fruits, coffee grounds and tea, rice, oatmeal, cornmeal, things like that. Your browns are leaves, shredded newspaper, hay, cut grass clippings, things like that from your yard. And you need kind of an even balance of your browns and greens and a little bit of water to get started. And just a few things to know, there are big no-nos. You never put meat, ever. If it walks or swims on the earth, you don't use it in your compost. You never use meats, and don't use oils, and don't use dairies. Be a little delicate when it comes to really strong citrus and onions and things like that. You can put a little bit in, but don't overwhelm. I'm going to show you my composting worms. I have them right over here. They live in my yard, and this is from my kitchen. I have one of these in my kitchen where I just throw the waste in, and if you follow me, you'll see how I'm going to feed the worms. One of the greatest things about composting is that you don't have to buy it at the store. You know, every spring you want to get your garden going and you have to go buy compost. Well, you can make it yourself. You have to be patient because it takes about 6 to 8 weeks. I'm using worm composting here in Coronado in my yard, but there are other methods that you can use as well. Come here, I'll show you what the worms look like. And as you can see, it's really kind of messy. There are many of them living down here. Underneath, if I reach down and pull up, you'll see zillions of them. And this used to be a bunch of garbage, a bunch of vegetables and a bunch of fruits. But now, as you can see, the worms are eating through the eggshells and everything else. They'll eat the paper. They'll even eat their own poop, as weird as that sounds. These are actual gloves that are compostable as well. You can buy them at different places online at this point. So this is from my kitchen. I got a new honeydew, which was fabulous. So you can see coffee grounds in here. And what you want to do with your worm composting bin is you put them on the bottom so the worms will crawl across and eat it. And you kind of rotate in the four corners as you go. So I'll kind of empty this into here for them to eat. You can see there's some yucky vegetables, celery, things like that. These are big pieces. They may take a little more time to break down, but I will pull this down. This is probably a lot for them at this point, but I'm using this for demonstration purposes to show you. I'll put this at the bottom here. They do love watermelon and melons of all kinds, by the way. And usually I'll mix in some browns. So for example, this paper works, shredded paper of any kind. You want it shredded better than this, obviously. I'm doing this for demonstration purposes, and we'll come back and I'll put an equal amount of shredded newspaper in there. And then I cover them back up. There's plenty of water in here at this point. You don't need to put a lot of water in when you're starting because most of your vegetables and fruits have a lot to start with. So I'll even this out a little bit and they'll go to town. When you're done, occasionally get some beetles and fruit flies depending on your mix, so you can't be too squeamish about that. But what you'll get, this will turn into rich worm poop and vermiculture, different things that you can put into your garden at the end of it. And I'll show you that in another video. But for now, we're gonna let them get munching away. I will also show you that the plastic tub you need needs to have aeration holes drilled in all parts of it. Underneath, you can see I have a drainage bin. It's pretty dry right now, but when it gets wet, there will be lots of water, and it's actually a vermiculture. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it'll come to me. But anyway, it's the water that comes out, and then you can use it to on non-edible garden things. So I use it back here, and you can see all sorts of grasses growing because of it. So that's a way to get started. The thing about composting, it can be a little yucky to start, but anything worth doing is worth doing poorly at first. And if you hang around, in about 6 weeks, you're going to see some great compost come out of there. Thanks for joining us, and happy Earth Day.